another country that's action packed with tremendous benefits, and this is the citizenship by exception that you can get in 3 to 4 weeks. Think about it. Think about getting a new citizenship in 3 to 4 weeks. Extremely private process, extremely discreet process. No sharing of information with any other countries, and no listing you on any forms, right? This is in your control. It's a private bond between you, the citizen, and the nation. And 3 weeks, you get your nationality. You just don't get the citizenship. You get a bunch of goodies in that packet. All right, so there's some explosive and exciting news, and this is the kind of change I was always hoping for. Let's start off with Malta. Now, Malta is switching or moving away from citizenship by investment. That program is stopped for good. I think that program really didn't make much sense. It attracted a lot of eyeballs, a lot of scrutiny. EU was going absolutely berserk and crazy behind that program, and now they've done the smart thing, and the smart thing is to go towards citizenship by exception, because the process is unknown, it's discreet, it's private, it's discretionary. So they don't have to say that they're giving citizenship for whoever pays. They don't have to set a price tag, right? Once you have a price tag, everyone is going to attack those type of programs. I'll give you a simple example, and one of the worst examples of the RCBI, where Caribbean, some of those nations were happily selling the EU access, the visa-free access, at 100K, sometimes even discounting that further in some cases. Again, those were fraud cases. Those passports were terminated. Let's just say selling it for 100K, nicely and happily doing their business. A lot of people purchased those passports, and then EU caught up, right? They targeted, they completely destroyed some of those programs, and they bumped up the price to 250K, 230 to 250K. So they clearly attacked the price, doubled or tripled it up, almost tripled it up. And then they also now are about to terminate all the visa free access. So they screwed up the program, they destroyed the investor trust, and now they're terminating the visa free access that these guys sold. Some of these guys sold for the 100K, right? That same thing or similar thing happened to Cyprus. They didn't have any authority to give their citizenship to whoever they wanted. They got investigated. Approximately 400 plus passports got terminated because EU got into action, busted the crap out of some of those applicants, and people paid a lot of money. The Cyprus citizenship was an expensive program. So once you pay all of that money, you publicly get listed, right? Globally, people know who you are now because they have published your name on a list, and then they take all the money, they terminate your passport, and the investor is pretty much screwed. And that is the dark reality of a CBI in a lot of cases. Now, some CBI programs are good that stick to their principles. They don't give a shit about that access. They care about their citizens. They care about their program. A couple of examples are Vanuatu and Nauru, where they have stuck it out. I know a lot of RCBI marketers are going to trash those programs saying it's a shady passport or I'm not going to get it. Bullshit. They don't make a lot of commission out of that program because that program is far cheaper than some of these busted options. So that's why it gets a lot of flack. Now, who talks about Nauru? Do you hear anyone talk about Nauru? No one talks about Nauru. Why? Because they don't provide a lot of commission. Now, with us, you get Nauru in 90 days because we have a direct access. We get it the fastest. And the same thing for Vanuatu. We have some specials going on. You can get the permanent residency in 5 days. If you're interested in passport in 60 days, we expedite that process. Now, let's not talk about CBIs. Let's shift focus to citizenship by exception. Now, Malta is a classic example. They've made the switch, so that's a good news. The positive things that I see from making the switch to citizenship by exception is the process is private. The process is more discreet. Malta has more control over the applicants that it's taking. There's no price tag. People can be flexible. So if you have skills, maybe you're paying less money. If you have lack of skills, then you're paying more money. If you're a business person who already has put a lot of money in the business, then you're paying less money to the government. So there are all those permutation, combinations, flexibility, connections would matter. So if you have good, strong connections, then of course that's going to help you positively competitively like in any situation, any country, right? So when you have an exception, it's a closed program, it's a private bond between the country and the investor and the citizen. It doesn't need to be disclosed, it doesn't need to be publicly listed. It's a very private process. So good luck to EU, good luck to ECJ trying to get into this business, because it's going to be a lot harder for them to get into any of that as opposed to a CBI program, which was more prone to attacks. Now, Malta is just one example. What are other good quality programs for CBI? There's an excellent program if you're looking for a non-European citizenship, but you want the country to be in Europe, then you have Serbia. It does have a citizenship by exception program. And then if you're still looking for EU, then Malta is not the only one. There's countries like Latvia and Estonia. Now, they do have some form of a hybrid golden visa program, but then one could try for citizenship by exceptions because they have the constitutional provision already. You always, when you're doing a citizenship by exception, make sure you check in with immigration. So that's where you need a good citizenship by exception attorney who can check your amounts, you can check your activity, and then get some insights, right? A pre-approval of sorts. So you have a lot of comfort factor. You know what you're going to get, you know what you're proposing, you know what's going to get accepted, and that kind of stuff. Now, another interesting and an excellent example is Mauritius, a fairly straightforward, fairly easy residency. Anyone over 50 can get this, and we do expedite Mauritius. If you're not 50, then you can conveniently do a self-employed permit. Again, we help with that, or a business permit. So all 3 or 4, in fact, there's a 4th category where you purchase a property and get the residency in Mauritius. So you get that residency fairly straightforward. Let's say you want to convert this into citizenship. Now, a lot of people are going to jump that, hey, it doesn't allow dual citizenship, blah, blah, blah. But you got to have some practical knowledge on the ground. That's why I'm saying don't rely on the information on this video or anyone else. Go talk to a good local attorney who can give you some practical knowledge on this topic. And let's say you make a case, right? It's a couple of $1 million that you're trying to move to Mauritius. The attorney goes in, makes a good, strong, solid case with immigration saying, hey, there's a lot of foreign FDI. Countries that do exceptions love FDI. So if you're actually moving to the country, getting a residency, doing a major investment, then yes, there are exceptional scenarios. You need the proper connections, the proper channels to push forward your case for an immediate citizenship. So if you are going to be in a country and if you're going to move your capital, then they better give you that citizenship, right? That's where you want a powerful, good, connected attorney who can have the right conversation with the right people. And I'm not talking about illegal stuff. I'm not talking about bribing anyone. I'm talking about proper cases where the Constitution has the exceptional measure. We are going and proving to them that why they should give you a citizenship. And once they give you the soft approval, that's the time when you start your action plan and start moving to that country. Now, while these other miscellaneous citizenship by exceptions take a little bit of time, there's another country that's action packed with tremendous benefits. And this is the citizenship by exception that you can get in 3 to 4 weeks. Think about it. Think about getting a new citizenship in 3 to 4 weeks. Extremely private process, extremely discreet process. No sharing of information with any other countries, and no listing you on any forms, right? This is in your control. It's a private bond between you, the citizen, and the nation. And 3 weeks, you get your nationality. You just don't get the citizenship. You get a bunch of goodies in that packet. You get all your ID cards. You get all your references, your verifications, a lot of stuff that you get that is very useful to facilitate your travel across different regions. And the citizenship, obviously, that I'm alluding to is CPLP, which is a Portuguese speaking former colony. So you could have tremendous advantages in Brazil or Portugal. And if you've missed out on what those advantages are, you can watch this video. Apart from that, it's an ECOWAS nation. So complete access, complete wide access to Africa, West Africa. Countries like Ghana, Gambia are beautiful, safe countries, up and coming countries. So they speak English in Ghana and Gambia. If you're doing your investment or just trying to get away from the world, trying to establish yourself in a very exotic, a very removed location from rest of the world. No one's hunting you down in the West or Europe or anywhere. You're going to Africa, doing your thing, being left alone. So that is where this becomes useful. It does have visa-free access to a bunch of very important places like Philippines, Mauritius. You can strike Plan B residencies over there using this nationality. It's a Swiss knife, and it's dirt cheap, 80 to less than 100k pounds. You can obtain this in just 30 days, and the price really depends upon your family configuration. It depends upon what IDs you're getting, what are the additional services that you're getting. So you can obviously add everything and get it for 100k, less than 100k, or you can go further down 80k or minimize your cost and get the bare minimum, which is your nationality certificate and the passport and that kind of stuff. Now, if you are interested in striking a citizenship by exception, are you interested in Serbia or the CPLP country, or you want to get Vanuatu PR citizenship or Nauru, we can expedite it and get it to you right away. So you can always click the link, book a call, we can have the discussion, figure out which is the best program and get you started, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on all the important updates that I'll be sharing. And if you want to learn about the 5-day process to get a residency permit, 5 days, and you can get your direct permanent residency in an exotic getaway, you can click on this video. This talks about the entire process and how you could get this, or you can combine this with an African passport option. All right, catch you in this one.